savings is the bedrock to any financial success. It can be difficult for most people to build a conscious and consistent savings in order to build their wealth in the long run. In this video, I'll be sharing with you 5 practical steps to double and increase your savings in the year 2023. Let's dive into the video. In 2023, to double and increase your savings. 1. Review your biggest expenses. Most people that live in the developed world, their biggest expenses are 3, which is housing, transportation, and food. So I'll be sharing my knowledge and everything I know about how these 3 contribute to biggest expenses. For housing, I will divide housing into 3 equal parts, into 3 different parts. First part are people that owns their house. Second part are people that rent their house. And third part will be in form of people that are married and people that are not married. For homeowners, it might be worth it to look for a house with lower interest rates in the year 2023. Let's say someone that is paying 5% interest rate on the mortgage would be worth looking for a lower interest rate, although that can be hard at this time because of the rising interest rates across the world and also with the cost of living crisis. So all the banks are increasing their rates now, so it will be hard to get a cheaper interest rate, but it's worth looking for it. If you are able to get a lower interest rate, then your chances of saving quite a lot of money in the year 2023 is high. Secondly, for people that are renting their houses, in most of the developed world, house rent takes almost 50% of monthly income in most of the developed world. So, especially in the UK, you pay house rent and a lot of things goes into the house. You pay council tax as well, and council taxes are in bands, band A, B, C, and D, and they are as cheaper as it goes on and on. So it might be worth it to look for new houses in your area. Maybe you are living in a town center and the house around the town center is quite expensive. It might be worth it to look a bit further. Maybe you can get a cheaper house. If you couldn't get a cheaper house, maybe it might be worth looking for a house with cheaper council tax. With that, you tend to cut your expenses and you'll be able to save more. For people that are married or people that are single, for people that are married, it might be worth it to share the living expenses between the couples. Meanwhile, someone takes care of some bills and another takes care of some bills. With that, you tend to save more. For people that are single, in time of housing, if you are living in a flat, maybe a single bedroom flat that you have to pay council tax, you have to pay more expenses, it might be worth considering a shared apartment. Usually in a shared apartment in a country like the UK, bills are usually inclusive, where you won't have to pay for anything. Some houses even comes with Wi-Fi that you won't have to even pay for broadband. So all bills are inclusive. Broadband, electricity, all you have to pay is your house rent, and that comes a bit cheaper than living in a single apartment. So with that, you tend to save more. So secondly, transportation. A lot of people spend more on transportation as well. If you are not a social person that goes out every now and then, maybe your routine is just go to work and back home, it might be worth considering public transport, and with that you tend to save money instead of using a large amount of money to buy a car, fuel the car, and then pay for insurance and all. So it might be worth considering using public transport. With that, you tend to save more. Third is on food. So with food, as a matter of fact, for me personally, apart from my house rent, food is the second largest expenses that take chunk of my income, because it's a family of 3, so we spend quite a lot of money on food. So for food, but what we do to cost our food expenses is, it might worth it to cut eating outside. So just eat outside once in a while, and tends to cook more for yourself. With that, you save quite a lot of money. A lot of people spend money to buy Costa coffee every day. Meanwhile, you can just make coffee in your house. So with that, you tend to save quite a lot of money. So this can never be overemphasized. Cooking for yourself, you tend to eat more healthier and you save money. So this is how you can review your largest expenses. Talking about food, most people, someone like me, comes from different African countries, Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, Gambia, and everything, to the developed world. There, you may want to start eating your local food. Local food can be so expensive than your local food, your indigenous food can be so expensive than the local food in where you are living. So like if you take £100 to an African store, you might not even take one bag outside the African store. Meanwhile, if you take the £100 to an English store, you are sure to carry like 3 bags outside of that store. So it might worth considering importing the food if you get somebody that can import it for you at a cheaper rate. So the next thing will be to identify your wants from your need. If you are an individual that is able to identify what you need and what you actually want, then you are guaranteed to be successful in life. Wants are things you desire as a human. I desire to have a Tesla now. It's a want, but I know I can't afford a Tesla now. But I can decide to go for the Tesla and get it on credit while I start paying for it. That is not helping my savings. But once you identify that this Tesla, I don't actually need Tesla, I can just get a Toyota that is quite cheaper than Tesla and will still serve the same need as the Tesla, then that's my need. So you get that and then you'll be fine. And you'll be able to save more. You might not need a Nike sneakers. Maybe what you need is just get another brand that is quite cheaper than Nike and it will serve the needs. That's what you need. So if you are able to identify your needs from your wants, ability to distinguish these two makes a huge difference on your financial freedom and makes a huge difference on your savings goal. You'll be anyone that is able to identify needs from wants will achieve his or her savings target more than someone that doesn't recognize needs from wants. So another point is increasing your income. Apart from cutting your expenses to increase your savings, it can never be overemphasized that increasing your income is a major component to save more. Because as long as your income increases, then the money that is coming into you has increased, so you'll be able to save more. So there are various ways you can increase your income. Maybe it's high time you apply for that promotion at your workplace. So if you apply for promotion, it tends to come with higher income. Maybe, and most of the time, a lot of people get increased income from switching their job. Maybe leave an employer for another employer. That is how a lot of people get an increase in their job. Maybe it's worth spending extra hours in your job to increase your income. And these are part of the reason why a lot of people increase their income. The biggest mistake you can make after increasing your income is to increase your expenses as well. This is a mistake a lot of people make. As long as their income increases like this, they tend to increase their expenses as well. Meanwhile, somebody that has been surviving on £2,000 a month before now started earning £3,000 a month. And then suddenly the £3,000 a month is not even enough for someone that has been living on 2K before. So that means the person has also increased his expenditure despite the fact that income has increased. So this person will not be able to double down on his savings. So but as your income increases, try to maintain the life you are living so that you'll be able to save more and in turn build wealth. So the next way that you can build and double your savings in 2023 is by setting a realistic saving target. You can be earning £20,000 a year and says you want to save £15,000 a year. That's your saving target. That's not possible. And you tend to see that on the long run you are not even saving anything. So savings target need to be realistic. It need to be something achievable. So if you want to save, let's take an example of somebody that is earning like £20,000 a year and living in a single bedroom apartment of like £500 a year. So if you say 500 by 12, that would be like £6,000 a year. So 6,000 from 20k, that remains like 14k. Food expenses is there, transportation expenses is there. The ideal saving target this person can save, in my own opinion, is like 5k. So if you set a saving target of 5k, then you have a target. So with that target, you now divide that target by year. 5,000 multiply 5,000 by a year. How much do you need to save in a year, monthly? So 5,000 by 2. So if you are someone that have set a target to save 5,000 in a certain year, then what you need to do is divide that 5,000 by year, which is 12 months. So that's around approximately £416 a month. So if you're somebody that is earning by weekly payment like people in America, then you can divide that 416 by 2 weeks, and then you know how much you need to save by weekly or monthly. So this is how to set a realistic saving target and achieve the goal. The last point is to eliminate high interest debts. A lot of people are in debt, and the most common is a credit card debt. Most of credit cards have high interest, as high as more than 20%. So you need to spend on your credit card consciously and set a direct debit so that they will be able to take any amount you spend in a month. Don't be someone that just pay only the minimum amount on the credit card. If you are fond of that, then it tends to accumulate, and over the year you see a lot of people are in a lot of debt on the high interest side. So if you eliminate those high interest debts, or if you have other debts with high interest, try to pay them off one after the other. And once you eliminate those high interest debts, then you'll be able to save more. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. If you find it interesting, please like, share and subscribe.